Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to give you a number of team leader behavioural interview questions and top scoring answers. So it does not matter which organisation or company you have your team leader interview with, please do make sure you watch this fully from beginning to end, because I'm going to help make you the standout candidate. And to achieve that, this is what I will cover during the presentation. I'm going to give you a list of team leader behavioural interview questions. I'm going to give you example answers to help you prepare fully and pass your team leader interview. I will tell you specifically how to structure your answers using the STAR technique to get the highest scores possible. You do not want to miss this. And then I will tell you where you can get further resources to help you pass your team leader behavioural interview. So 4 really good reasons why you should stay tuned and watch this tutorial fully from beginning to end. Now, before I get into the team leader behavioural interview training tutorial, a very warm welcome to this presentation. My name is Richard McMunn. That's me there in the centre of the screen. I'm a former manager, a team leader and a fire officer myself, and I've been helping people for 20 years now to successfully pass their interviews. And lots of you are contacting me to say that you've used the training and you have got your job, you've passed your interview. On that basis, please make sure you subscribe by clicking the red button below the video. That way you're not going to miss out on any of the weekly training videos that I upload. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to. My LinkedIn link is in the description below the video, and it's always good to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Please also make sure you give the video a like, because that tells me you enjoy the content, and as always, I will then spend more time creating it for you. You can also, if you want to, tell me the name of the company or organisation you have your team leader interview with in the comments section below the video, and I will then come on here each day and I will give you some additional interview questions to help you prepare fully for your team leader interview. Okay, let's get into the training and have a look at those team leader behavioural interview questions and answers, and most importantly, first of all, how to structure your answers. So my advice is to always use the STAR technique when answering any type of team leader behavioural interview question. Now, the way to structure these is to use the STAR technique, which is situation, task, action, result. So I'm going to give you a list in a second of team leader behavioural interview questions, and they usually start off with describe a time when you had to, give me a situation you were in where you had to lead by example, for example. Can you explain a time when you had to deal with conflict in a team? So they start off in that manner, and you have to give a specific situation you have previously been in. So if you structure your answer using the STAR technique, you would start off and say to the interviewer, I was in a specific situation. The situation I was in was XYZ, and you would explain briefly the situation you were in. You would then move on and tell the interviewer the task that needed to be done. You would say, because of the situation, I then needed to do XYZ. And then you would tell the interviewer the action that you took, and you would go into detail about the action you took to achieve the task. And then you finish off and tell the interviewer the results following your actions, and always make the result positive. So it's situation, task, action, result. Let's now take a look at the STAR technique in action when answering team leader behavioural interview questions, and you'll see how powerful it is. So the first question I want you to prepare for is, tell me about a time when you demonstrated leadership skills. This is a common team leader interview question. Now, don't forget to use the STAR technique to structure your answer, and give a situation where you put the organisation's needs first whilst demonstrating leadership qualities. So here's an answer using the STAR technique. In my last job, the organisation was going through a period of adjustment, and the company's CEO asked everyone to make significant changes to their daily working practices. There were a number of people within our team who were not happy about the proposed changes, and their negativity was starting to impact on the wider team. I saw it as my responsibility to encourage everyone in the team to embrace the changes positively for the sake of the organisation. I sat down with all team members and I began to explain the importance of change and why it is needed in all organisations. I also explained how, if we did not embrace the changes positively and keep up with customer demand, we would fall behind as a business and lose our market share. Whilst a few people were still unsure, I managed to persuade them to try the changes with a positive attitude and to see what happened. A few weeks after I spoke to the team, the changes had been embraced positively by everyone, and there was a great feeling around the department. So that's a brilliant answer, and you can see there how powerful the STAR technique is. So I've started off with a situation. In my last job, the organisation was going through a period. Then I go on to the task. I saw it as my responsibility to encourage everyone to embrace a change. I then go into detail of what action I took. I sat down with the team members, and then the result is, after a few weeks, things had improved massively. So situation, task, action, result. Let's use it again for another team leader behavioural interview question. And that one is, describe a time when you led by example. So leading by example is demonstrating that you are capable of making difficult and sometimes unpopular decisions that are in the best interests of the organisation. Now, this may be in relation to challenging inappropriate comments or behaviour, resolving team conflict, or even maintaining high standards. So we have to think about a situation that we were in where we led by example. Let's use the STAR technique when responding to this team leader interview question. Here we go. I was attending an intercompany meeting to discuss the start of a new product launch I was to be a part of. Partway through the discussion, one of the heads of department was suggesting we should cut corners in regard to the marketing spend by using an inexperienced digital marketing company that he knew. I did not agree with his suggestion, and I saw it as my responsibility to make everyone aware of the consequences of cutting corners with the product launch marketing campaign. I explained that, whilst I understood we all had a responsibility to save money, it was vital the product launch was a success, as we had all invested so much time, energy, and resources into the product creation aspect. I went on to explain that we all had a duty to the company owners to make sure the product launch was a success, and the only way that this could be achieved was to use a tried and tested marketing company we had used previously. Although they were more expensive, we knew they would deliver great results. After I had put forward my point of view, we ended up using the more expensive digital marketing company, and the campaign launch was a huge success. So that's leading by example and showing that you understand that cutting corners is no way to do things as a team leader. So again, situation, task, action, result fits perfectly into any team leader behavioural interview question, and it makes you the standout candidate for sure because your answers are detailed, and that's very important. Now don't go anywhere because I still have some more team leader interview questions to run through, but when you are ready, if you click the link in the top right hand corner of the video, it takes you through to my website passmyinterview.com, where you can download my full set of 17 team leader behavioural interview questions and top scoring answers in PDF format. Okay, let's move on to the next question. When have you delegated effectively? So as a team leader, you have to delegate, but delegating is a difficult thing to do. Now, delegating responsibly is not an easy thing to do. However, being able to delegate is a crucial part of being a competent and highly effective team leader. Now, within your answer, tell the interviewer the steps you took and the considerations you had whilst delegating. So here is a model answer to that interview question. When have you delegated effectively using STAR technique? Here we go. In a previous role, I was working on a project when two important team members called in sick. This was a potential blow to the project, as they were relatively experienced members of the team and we had a strict timeline to work towards. Now, not being someone who gets defeated, I asked for 2 volunteers from another department to help my team complete the project. It was my task to delegate the task to the new team members quickly and accurately with a full brief. I followed a 3-step plan for delegating the tasks. I sat down with both team members and explained the project outline and how the work they would be carrying out would help us to achieve our goal. I then explained in detail the tasks they needed to complete, including practical demonstrations and also explaining the timelines they had to work towards. Finally, I held a short questions and answers session to make sure they fully understood the brief. In total, delegating the tasks took me 3 hours to complete. However, due to the fact I followed a set process of delegation and I used absolute clarity in my brief, the 2 team members excelled in their work and the project was fully completed on time and to the required specification. So again, a great use of situation, task, action, result, and you will notice that the result that I give for every answer is always positive in nature. So it shows that the action I took is relevant to the situation and the result is positive, which is of benefit to the organisation. So the next team leader behavioural interview question I want to prepare for is, tell me a situation when you had to deal with an underperforming member of your team. This is a difficult one. Now, dealing with underperformance takes courage and tact. Give an example when you dealt with an underperforming team member quickly and swiftly. Here is my suggested answer, again using STAR technique. I was leading a small team of people in a previous role, and I noticed a usually good performing member of the team kept making mistakes with his work. He also appeared to be lacking in motivation. I had serious concerns, not just for the performance of the team, but also for his welfare. As a team leader, it was my responsibility to get to the bottom of the underperformance quickly, with a view to getting him back up to speed quickly. I spoke to him in private and explained what I had noticed in regard to his performance. I started off by asking him if there was anything troubling him, and he revealed to me that his partner had recently left him. He was clearly upset, and this was the reason for the underperformance. After spending time reassuring him and also explaining the options that were available from a HR perspective, I started to discuss ways we could get him back up to full speed again in the shortest time possible. I suggested he worked with me for the first week so I could monitor his welfare and performance and also give him tasks to complete that would take his mind off his personal problems. After a few weeks of support, the team member was back up and running to full working capacity, and he appeared to be much happier in himself and his work. So again, that shows that you can take responsibility, you take swift action, you do some investigative work to find out what is causing the underperformance, because most people will rush in there and just assume that the person is lacking in motivation and they can't be bothered, whereas this situation shows that you've carried out a bit of work, investigation work, you've found out that it's a personal problem and you are supporting them, but also making sure that they get back up to full speed as quickly as possible with a great end result. So that's situation, task, action, result. Now, the next thing for you to do is please do click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video. It takes you through to passmyinterview.com and you can have a look at my full list of 17 behavioural interview questions for team leader positions. And you can also download the 4 that I've gone through here today on the video and the other 13 questions as well. So they're great answers, all of them to that calibre, to help you pass your team leader interview. Don't forget to tell me the name and the organisation you are being interviewed for the role of team leader, because I may be able to give you some more questions to help you prepare. Don't forget to subscribe, connect with me on LinkedIn, and please do hit the like button as well. Thanks for your support. Finally, I wish you all the best in your pursuit to passing your team leader interview, and have a brilliant day. Thank you very much.